This is a story about a dream we all once had. The night was filled with rain and thunder. The pitch black night was full of terror for a young child. "Please don't let me have any nightmares tonight," she prayed. Then she fell asleep. Deeper and deeper. Hello everyone, it's Medne here and welcome to Somnus Nonogram puzzle. So I stumbled upon this lovely game and I was wondering what this game is about. It looked very nice in screenshot, so I figured out, might as well play. So I have to click on this thingy. Of course we want to do story, because I heard this one has a very nice story. And we're just gonna start with chapter 1. Step 1. Nonogram Picross, is that how you say it? Is a puzzle game in which squares must be colored consecutively according to numbers to reveal a hidden picture. Oh. So this is gonna be that kind of game. Alright. If several numbers are displayed, there must be at least one square that is left blank in between the numbers. Alright, so it's like 3 blank and then 1. Alright, this ain't that bad. By the way, before this, I actually had no idea how you play these. I've seen so many ads in the games. So I was like wondering how do you play this, because I never had the idea. So here I am. Alright, so I'm gonna learn something new today, how to play Nonogram game. Alright, we have 5 in a row. We're gonna do the 5. Then we have 2, which is actually that bad. Not that bad. It's quite simple. So we have 1. We leave the other one blank and select 3 of them. Okay, so we can't figure out where exactly it is. That's when we press next. That's what they said to us, right? So it could be either that one or that one. We know that there's 3 here supposed to be, so obviously we collect them. And then we reveal that we now know where the 2 are. It's quite simple, isn't it? So, we'll see. We have ourselves a high heel. Awesome. Very pink. Alright. Oh, wandering in a forest. Alright, so she sees green blobs and she's scared by them. She's thinking about feathers. Alright, chapter 1. Okay. Alright. So this is 10 by 10, right? Yeah, so we drag it down. This one and this one. So there's like 8 here, another 8 here, obviously 7. Alright. Keep in mind, this is new to me. I'm still thinking about it slowly at the start. 7 here. Then there's 5, 2, and 1. Yes. Oh, this is 1 from 3. Okay, so there's like a picture then at the end. So, oh, it doesn't always start from the corner. Alright. Interesting, so I'm gonna do with these ones. What else? There's 10 here as well on the bottom. Okay. Alright, so here comes the 4. Another 4, and this one is like 4, 4, 4. Okay. We got ourselves 6 and 3. What else can we get? 8 here and 1. Four here. Yeah, 6. Another 4, 2. I don't know where that 1 goes, that's why I'm gonna leave it there. I know you don't see where I'm pointing. That's a downside for playing phone games, that you don't see where I'm pointing. I'm gonna go with 4 here, because it very nicely goes in there. 3 here, 2 here, that really reveal us where the 5 is gonna be. And we have 1 left. It's right here. Okay. Ta-da! Okay, and this is the third puzzle of the 3. Yes, nice, very good start. Okay, 6 here. Another 5, then 3s. Then we have 7. I don't know where the 3. Probably here, because there's also like option 4. Okay, then we go with 2. Okay. So like this one here, then the 3. 4 totally. We have 2 here. We don't know where we're gonna put 1, but we're gonna put 1 here. Okay, and now you can drag it down to 5 and 3. Where does these ones go? I guess here. Yeah, okay. It ain't that bad, look at this. Ooh, following a bluebird. What is a bluebird? Ooh, oh wow, this art style is amazing. Just look at that, we have ourselves first achievement. Let me read this. Following a bluebird. The girl was wandering in a forest, trying to avoid the nightmares. Suddenly, a blue bird flew above the girl's head. As if trying to tell her to follow, the girl decided to follow the bird by picking up its trail of feathers. Alright, and the nightmares disappeared. Oh, that's amazing. We got ourselves a ledge. Okay. Let me just say, art style is just amazing in this game. I love it. Ooh, we walked inside of the house. There's more nightmares there. And we can't go past them. We have to clear them out, I guess. So I'm just gonna like... Ooh, look, we can scroll down. Wow, we can see the more. There's like them chilling on the chair. That chair looks fun, by the way. Look at that chair. It's so cute. Anyways, if you're wondering how long I'm gonna play this, I figured out since there's gonna be like 2 stories, which I saw at the start, I'm gonna play 1 story for each video. So this is gonna be my first video, and then there's gonna be a second video for the second story. If you are interested of seeing that, then I'm gonna make the second video just because I can and I want to. That's why I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna keep whole puzzles inside. All the puzzles, because it's gonna be very repetitive. So if you are interested of what the story of this game holds, you can just, you know, follow along and see the story. I will leave in some puzzles in for some, I don't know, so you can see how I'm puzzling, how well I'm doing with puzzles. I have no idea how long this game is. I've seen that there's like 7 chapters totally. I have no idea how long they are. How much time does it take for me to complete them all? I'm just getting into this whole Nonogram thing. I'm very interested about it. So if you want to join me on this little trip of the story, you can join me. You can also play the game yourself if you don't want to spoil any ending of this game, which I'm definitely gonna spoil the game here in this video. So if you don't want any spoilers and want to know for yourself, then feel free to download the game and play it yourself. If you don't want to do that for any reason, you're here for the story, then you can watch till the end of the video. So yeah, really carefully thinking about where I'm putting these down. I'm probably gonna look at this back in, like, after the whole time. I'm probably gonna look in the recordings of this, and I will be so cringed about how slowly I was figuring out things at the start. That's at least what I think is gonna happen. It usually happens, by the way, with these games. You can like play them, and then I record them, and then I go to my editing place and I edit them and I rewatch them a million times because I have to edit them down and cut out unnecessary parts. And I'm like looking at myself thinking, and I'm like, come on, it was so obvious. But let me tell you, it's way different when you play the game, because you are so focused on many things. Like for me, I can't focus on one thing at a time. My brain just goes randomly to many places as possible. So I'm like, it's very hard to focus on one thing, and especially when you are playing games for recordings, you try to kind of like do as much things as possible at the same time, so it's so easy to miss many things. And you know, you have to give credit to YouTubers who do this, because this ain't easy, but it also ain't that hard, so everyone can do it if you really want to. I totally absolutely enjoy doing this, so that's why I'm doing it, even I have no gain of this. There actually is a gain to this. I'm learning a bunch of things. I'm practicing my speech. If you notice the difference between my now, what I'm talking, and the previous, for example, a year ago video, which I made, the first one. If you just look at that, there's such a big difference. And I definitely gained something in my soul and mind, and it's definitely worth the while, I think. So you see, by me rambling a bunch of stuff, I'm misclicking a bunch of things. Look at me. Yes, that's how it is. How do you think this is gonna end with? I have no idea what this is gonna be at the end, what we're gonna get, but the start is very good. I like this whole concept about dreaming and stuff. Like, I'm very into it. Look how I'm blasting through the levels like a mad lad. Talking a bunch of stuff. So what do you like to do in your free time, my dear audience? I do like these puzzle games. They're kind of fun. I wasn't expecting to play a puzzle game right now. This is like I did look into this game, but I didn't look far enough to find out or actually realize that this is one of those Nonogram games. But I like playing it now, and I understand finally the mechanic of this, because I never went into it and it looked very confusing and complex for me. That I never got into it that much, but now I'm playing, it's like, it's kind of easy. Yeah, this game has ads, obviously. I've been having them a while, but there's a little trick if you wanna know. If you don't want to get any ads, then you can turn off your internet. It does work for some games, and depends when you have turned off the internet, because you have to turn it off before starting the game. Otherwise the game's gonna like download those ads in its like little catcher or whatever it has, and it's gonna like play them anyways. Like it downloads like few ads and then it stops at a certain amount, so when you have turned off the internet, then you're gonna still get some ads, but after that specific amount of ads you're gonna stop getting them. And I misclicked it again. And I'm guessing at this point that's why I'm misclicking. I'm not like thinking about it that much. But this game does require you to guess stuff, because I wasn't really sure where to put that to there. Yeah, so anyways, just turn off the internet. It's gonna like, some games you'll really get away with this, but some games really require you to have internet connection for some weird reason. But there is a reason for ads as well. So imagine this is a free game and people spend their time, and obviously they did spend some money to make this game, so they obviously have these ads. In this game there's a reasonable amount of ads, actually it's not that much. I like to do some few levels, like 3 or 4, and it gives me an ad. It's quite okay, I guess. I think in my brain it's kind of okay, it's not too much. Not like in that doctor game where they gave you ad every single one level you did. But if you ask me, the ads have its reason. Like, people spend their time to make this, so they need some sort of they made it free for you to play it, so the least you can do for support, not only play the game but also like watch the ads they have in this game, because ads make people earn money, you know. It's like ad revenue on YouTube, wherever. So you think it's very annoying, but know, it's kind of a little bit necessary for this kind of stuff. For example, free websites which you visit all the time has ads, and it's kind of normal how the world goes around like this. But if you ever see a game in any if you ever see an ad in any game, don't look at it very like, it has ads, disgusting. Just think about people who made this free for you so you don't have to spend money on this. I know some games has still ads in it, even though you spend like €5 for buying it. It's kind of a little bit sad that they still do this. But for free games, it's kind of okay. So the least you can do is just watch them by showing your thanks. Yes. So we got ourselves this far now. I'm totally starting to get this game now. This is kind of fun. At the end, I will tell you how long it took me to play the whole chapter. Because playing now, this is 10 times 10. 10 times 10. Playing this now, it's kind of feels it's gonna be an easy run, but it could get any harder. So you got like 25. Jesus Christ, I just now noticed that there's totally 25 things to do. Oh my goodness. So it ain't that bad, You can tell me in the comment section how you've been liking games, what kind of games you like to play, for example, yourself, and what games you like to, for example, view on YouTube. Because I'm interested in my audience's kind of like what games you like. I like a lot of games, actually. There's a lot of game styles I enjoy. For example, I like puzzle games. They're kind of okay. And I like action games, shooting games sometimes as well. Very much I like survival games. I have not played many survival games, actually. I played Survival Craft. Minecraft is kind of a little bit of survival game-ish, kind of. And that's kind of it I played from Raft as well, I played. It's like I should play more Raft. I was thinking I should check it out. Maybe they have new updates and I could play them. Alrighty, we gotten to our last level in the first chapter. No, is it the second chapter? I already forgot. Jesus, it's been like so long already. So yeah, our last level here. We're gonna progress in a story, I assume, by collecting 25th puzzle piece. Let me tell you, this hasn't been that hard, but it's very time consuming. It took me like, I can't even know, I think an hour to get this far? Maybe less, like 30 minutes, I assume. Sadly, this time I don't have any watches and stuff, so I can't check the time. I found out, by the way, that you can place crosses. I didn't know that when I was starting at the start. And the crosses help you to cross out the areas where you are sure there's not gonna be anything. So they're kind of helpful. There's been this far so many guesses, by the way. There's like some levels are very easy. You can really figure out where to put them. But sometimes you are stuck in a position where you have to guess to press it. I think it's fine knowing that they give you 10 hearts, 10 lives, 10 tries to fail. So it's kind of okay. I haven't gotten fail screen. Ooh. A talking candlestick. Interesting. After walking through a long dark tunnel, the girl arrived at her room from back home. As she carefully approached the room, a candlestick spoke to her. Ooh. That's all we get. A candlestick. Alright, I figured out I'm gonna make a tiny time lapse through the chapter 2, part 2. How do you like that idea? I like that idea. Alright, let's roll it down. There we have our last thingy. We got our new thingy. Candlestick's request. The candlestick said, "Huh? Isn't that the bluebird's feather? Are you the owner of the bluebird, the nightmare vanquisher? If so, you must save my friends." Ooh. Nightmare vanquisher. Interesting. Alright, so we get ourselves last thingy. Third of the chapter second. This is gonna be a long video, I'm telling you. Be prepared to have a long video. Because I surely am. I've been doing this in one sitting by now. It's 23rd level. So let's do it. I have no idea how much time has passed, by the way. It just feels a long time. And I feel like, since it's been so long already, I'm not gonna do this in one sitting. This is definitely a game you play over like 2-3 days, I assume, maybe. You finish it. If you constantly play it, it could be one fully day. But knowing my time, it could require me to do. It would require me to finish this game, like, as I said, like 2-3 days maybe. I like these crosses, by the way. The thing I found out about those crosses is the best thing ever. I'm so glad I have this in. It's really helped me a lot this far. How you been liking the story this far? I like the story. It's very intriguing. I really want to know what's at the end of this. And talking about the end, we are on our last level, level 24. No, this is not level 24. We have 25 levels. Jesus, Medne, your brain. This is the second last level we're doing of this. This is the last second level we do of the chapter. So in one chapter we fully play 75 levels. That's crazy. But it does not feel as much, because you really quickly go through them. And the music they have in this game is very soothing. I like the music. It's very dreamy. So, yeah. Alright, we've gotten to the last thingy. Let's read what this is of the chapter 2. Vanquish the nightmare. After the nightmare was vanquished, the candlestick and its friends thanked the girl. If you are looking for your bluebird, it flew that way. The path is quite dark, so bring me with you. I will light it for you. Oh look, the nightmares disappeared. Oh, I love the faces they have there. It's so cute. I love this type of a glowing... Oh wow, this looks mysterious. She's very spooked of the dark. I like this glowy effect they have here. Ooh, birdcage of trust. Oh, it's so sad. Welcome to chapter 3. This looks amazing. Alright, still 10 times 10. And still 25. Oof, that's a lot, honestly. It would make more sense if they did, like, at the start, less than 25 to get the, like, a story thingy going. Not like, that 3 at the start was very good, but then they jumped from 3 to 25. I think it's a very big leap, so they could have done, like 10 pieces of the puzzle, and then you have to, in the next type of a sequence, you have to get 15, and then you get to that 20, and then 25. It would make more sense, and then from that 25 you bring up difficulty of this. That would make more sense to me. But the way it is already, it's not that bad. It's just questionable. Like, why did they immediately jump from 3 to 25? They really make you to work for your chapters, don't they? I found out you can press the list and it does this. Oh, look at it, it was so cool. Yes, we are on our last level again. This been a long time, like a really long time. Now it takes me like for each type of 25, for each 25 levels, it's asking me to do like 40 minutes, I think. So, yeah, this is a long game. So if you are here for the story, I'm not blaming you for being here for the story, because this is a long game and it really requires a long time to get to the end. Okay, and the last 7. There we go. Black bird. Ooh. Wow, look at this picture. After entering the room, the girl saw a pitch-black bird. Its wings were huge and magnificent, but the bird looked terribly sad. Aw, what happened to the bird? It's so sad. See you on the other side of the level 25. Okay. Blackbird's request. Oh, so the blackbird is gonna request something for us. Because she was startled, the girl tried to run away. That silly girl, come on. However, the bird asked the girl for a bluebird's feather to help remove its curse. Oh, so he has a curse. Of course, I'm gonna help you to remove the curse. So that's why we are here. But I do love the story. I wonder what the second story is gonna be like. I'm already not finishing this one, I'm already thinking about the next one. This is how we are, eh? Humans. Alright, I gotta appreciate the art style. It's very amazing. Gotta give the credit to the artists. Girl's hesitation. Although the girl briefly hesitated, thinking that the bird was trying to steal her feathers, she soon gave all her feathers to the bird. Aw, how nice. That's kinda super sweet. Aw, she's very kind. Welcome to the last level of this beautiful sequence of this beautiful chapter, I think. Yes. It took a while, let me tell you. That's what I've been saying this whole time. This is a long game, like a really long game. But I like it. I like it. Now I have this thing inside of me that I have to finish it. I have to know it's at the end. I'm started to record it. Now I can't back away. I have to know it's at the end. This is requiring so much storage. And this is not my first sitting, by the way. I've been like taking breaks, obviously, because Jesus Christ, if I did this in one go, you should be worried about me. So I still misclick stuff. I still guess stuff. I so much want to run through this that I'm sometimes misclicking things, making wrong decisions. But it ain't bad. Since I have these 10 lives, might as well use them, you know. So I was like looking, while I was gone from this game a little bit, I was searching up some stuff and I found out that they have part 2 of this, like a second nonogram. It was about the wolf. I remember the screen had a wolf in it. I might check it out. Feather suit. Oh, feather suit. Oh, hello. After the nightmare shrouding the place was gone, a beautiful fairy appeared. The fairy said, "Thank you for trusting me." Huh? You're chasing the bluebird? Here, take my feather suit. It will help you fly to the other side. Ooh. Do we get to wear the feather suit? Thank you, fairy. You are very kind. Oh, look at her. She's so beautiful. She loves us. Aww. Do we get to fly? Do we actually see? Oh my god, look, she looks so cool. Oh, I hope... Oh, she's not keeping it. It would be super cool if she kept the thingy, because she looked absolutely amazing with it. Alright, welcome to the chapter 4. Have you been bored by this already? Tell me. Whoa, 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 what is this? Oh, I can zoom? Oh, this is more than 10. This is weird and trippy. Zoom in and move. Oh, no, wait. I have to zoom in, then I hold 2 seconds, and then I... No, this is not right. Nah, I don't like to move it around. It makes me click stuff I don't wanna. So I'm just gonna do it straight like this. This is the whole thing. It's easier for me. Alright. So this is 15 by 15. We finally managed to get to the 15 times 15. It's bigger. And looks way more complex, but it ain't that bad, actually. I obviously will have to think about the numbers again, because I got used to the number combinations, which number combinations makes a full 10. With all the breaks in the middle. And which combinations does not, so I go with the ones which are obviously doing it. But for this one I will have to think about more combinations and do the math in my head. But that's okay. I think it's gonna be very quickly for me to adapt. So really makes you to move your head around. So this game is not only for the fun purposes that you get the story, and not only like putting down the colors to the right places, but you also move your head and think about the, like in the math, like I plus everything to know where it's gonna be. I'm not like sometimes I'm like counting stuff where I don't know. I count if it's really gonna fit in. But also those grid it has helps a lot as well, because I know like one section is like 5, so it's like 15 totally. So yeah. Thanks, developers, for making it a little bit easy with all your grids. And that you can place all the crosses, yes. Have to mention it. Amazing cross. Also, design of them is amazing. Like, I like design of this game. And yeah. Alright. Moving along, I will a little bit go forward. From this moment, I will go forward and yes. See you by the story! A teddy bear night. Interesting, a teddy bear. After running for quite some time, the girl ran into a teddy bear wearing a suit of knight armor. The teddy bear blocked her path and started talking to her. What did he say? It's a knight. Is he gonna say us to be safe and not to rush anywhere? Because it's danger laying ahead of us? What it's gonna do? We never know until we play. 25 more levels. We are filling in the story, so this one is about advice. The teddy bear is giving us advice. You don't need to pick up feathers anymore, he said seriously. I think that's how bear would sound like. How do you think? The girl's greed. Ooh, she's greedy. Is she gonna collect more feathers? Wow. She looks beautiful. The girl wanted to follow the teddy bear's words, but she soon got scared thinking about the nightmare's presence. Feeling afraid, she ended up picking up more feathers, and she was soon covered in bird feathers, which looked quite ugly. No, I think she looks very beautiful in purple. Do you think she's beautiful? I think she's beautiful. Look at her. This image, the art style makes it look beautiful. And just because it's covered in feathers doesn't mean it's ugly. Come on. Oh, but she looks so cute there. How do you say that she's ugly? Look at her. Oh, I think she's beautiful. Moving along. Moving along. Moving along. Again. Yes. Alright, so figure out for you, so it's interesting. I'm gonna do myself a little challenge while doing so. It's also interesting for me as well. I'm gonna do this whole thing without using any crosses, because cross has been helping me a lot this far. And they really help you to figure out how much you have done, how much you need to do still, and how much you need to fill in, and where exactly to fill in. So they make you feel sure. And for this one, I'm not gonna use any crosses. So this is gonna be fun for me. So let's see how it goes, if we fail or not. The failing means that I pressed it in the wrong place. It is harder than you think, because I have to think more. And it's not as obvious. Because usually when I fill in and it turns gray, the number on the side turns gray. That means I have filled in exactly how much I need to fill in. And when I put on a cross, then I know I don't have to touch that section anymore. So without the crosses, I need to think more. I need to pay attention to what I'm pressing. So that means I'm gonna do this way slower than I usually do, because, yeah, thinking. Okay. Also, the fact I need to point out about this game is that once you press it, you can't cancel the press. So this is what I didn't like, that I know that I pressed it in the wrong place, but I can't undo it, so I lose a life. So they should use some sort of like a cancel mechanism in this game. Okay, this one was a fun one. I like this one. It is Awakening. Alright, let's see what's Awakening is about. What is Awakening about? The teddy bear knight said, "You don't need all of those feathers to protect yourself. You already know this, don't you?" Enlightenment. Alright. After hearing those words, the girl was able to calm herself down. At that moment, all the feathers surrounding her scattered away in a very beautiful, very, very beautiful way. Just look at it. And the teddy bear's like, "Yay! We did it!" Okay, I totally just skip this, so you don't have to sit through these many levels, so I just skip it straight towards to the story. A new form. It felt as if she was born anew. She was no longer afraid of nightmares. And that picture just looks amazing. It's just so good to... Wow. Yay, she's like... And it gives like thumbs up. Bye! And she runs off. It just gives you such a satisfaction after all those levels to see such a beautiful picture. It's a good... She's startled. What did she see? Okay, we are on our chapter 6, meaning we have 2 more chapters left, including this one. So... Whoa! We have 20 times 20. This I haven't done before. Wow, wow, wow. This is something new. Just look at it. This is purely by guessing, by the way. Alright, so it's fine. Unrelenting night. However, the nightmare never left. It was still trying to take her, but the girl was now fearless, and she walked towards her destination without any hesitation. Firm will. Sweet flowers were growing along her path, and the nightmares backed away. Oh my goodness, look at that. That looks so beautiful. We have only 2 sections, by the way, in chapter 6. So we are on our last chapter. The Awake. Chapter 7. The Awake. Woo! The last chapter. I'm so ready to see what this ends with. The Last Gateway. After arriving at her destination, the girl found a huge tree. The tree was filled with flowers in all shapes and colors. Is that tree of life? Tell me if that's a tree of life. I wonder. And chapter 7 also has 2 sections only. Look at that! We are on our last section. Alright, so we are here to see our last chapter, our last ending. Oh, can't wait. Alright. It calls The Dream Watcher. There was someone watching over her as she approached the tree. He was wearing a mask decorated with antlers, along with a beautiful robe. When the girl finally arrived, he placed his warm hand on the girl's head. Her eyes filled with warm light, and the girl awoke to greet the morning. Aww. That's so sweet. Here we go. We finished the story. Oh my god. So it was the guy which was at the start, which we saw. That's kind of cool. Look at that mask. She's awakening. Look at that pencil art. And there's like all the things, the bird cage, the bear. Everything she saw in the dream, she has around. That's so cool. There we go. We have finished the first story of this. And have you been liking it so far? I totally, absolutely loved it. So here's the storybook, the collection book, so we can go through all the tiny little animations and all the artwork they did for this game. And if you want, you can read it again. Pause it and read it again. But yes, I absolutely love this game. This is very simple, the Nonogram game that you collect all the stuffs, but the story is very good. I like the story. And the art style. Like this game's art style is so incredibly beautiful. Just look at it. It's I have no words actually to say how beautiful this is. So people who worked on this game, thank you so much for making this, because this is amazing. I love it. And of course, as I mentioned before, there's like some things that doesn't make sense to me. Like, for example, you sometimes have to guess stuff, but it's fine knowing that they give you heart. That they give you 10 lives, 10 failures, 10 fails that you can do. And it also doesn't make sense that you immediately from the chapter 1 you jump from 3 puzzles to finish to get a story. You jump to 25, so it's kind of little bit too big of a leap for me. And it would make sense if you slowly progress in making it higher and higher, but the way it was made right now and the way all the artwork and the satisfaction it gave, it was very good. So I kind of close eyes on that. It's very fine. If you are into art like this and you like not guessing games, Jesus, and you like these kinds of games where you have to kind of do math a little bit, but not too much of math. It's more like when you start to get to know the number sequence and how many numbers and which number is gonna make you that amount of like number you are going for, then it gets easier, obviously. So yes, thank you so much if you watched this far. And oh, there's an after story I didn't know about. It's right here on the corner. Let's read it. The Dream Watcher has been watching her all along, wishing her to overcome her fears and grow up her full potential. Aw, that's cute. So thank you so much if you watched this far. Also, leave a like if you liked how I brought you through this story. And if you have anything to say, please feel free. See, there's like a story too we can go for. It unlocks like weird chapters in the story. I think this is also weird that they allow you to go to the chapters without going to the another chapter, but okay. It's kind of confusing to me. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this, and thank you for your time. Thank you for any support you give to me. It's very kind of you, and I totally, absolutely appreciate it. And keep hunting your dreams. Not the nightmares, but absolute beautiful dreams. See you guys next time. Bye!